Yeah,
He's a
because
good dude, man.
it's enough horror stories, man. We definitely got to salute all the good cats. So, do you think the whole label thing is obsolete right now?
Label in what way you mean is the label
Like I'm
obsolete?
talking about the
Like signing
traditional.
to a
Yeah,
major.
like signing
Yeah,
to a major
definitely.
label.
If you well, hey, you know, if you want to be a superstar and you want to be in the limelight on a big scale, for the most part, you still kind of need to surf on that line a
Yeah,
little
you
bit.
need if that's your quest.
Yeah,
If your quest is to be
you ain't gonna be Chris Brown independent.
no,
You ain't gonna be that. You ain't gonna be that.
unless you know you just one of them niggas who hit it off
Yeah,
greatly.
yeah.
You if you, I tell niggas this, if you fantasize of being signed to a label, you know, because there's some cats who still have that, or I'm signed to Universal, I'm signed to Def Jam,
Yeah.
I'm signed. It's some niggas who still long for that.
Yeah.
You get me? And I don't know if it's, you know, economically a wise decision, but some dudes want that
Yeah,
that
that's
moniker.
that's the worst loan you can
like
ever get.
I want to put on that jacket that says Def Jam on the back and walk around. I want to put on that coat that says Sony Music,
Yeah.
and you know, because some dudes, I get it. I could be independent. Am I gonna be as big as if they did it?
Yeah.
You get me? Because 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna even put the money behind you
I would
to
say no.
be that. You know what I'm saying?
would say
They're not gonna drop the money, you know, on you to feel significant for putting on that jacket. You
Yeah.
get me? You on Def Jam, but nigga, you still living on the block and
But
shit.
see, a dude like Drake though, he kind of eating that major label system because he getting a big chunk of money.
Yeah.
I don't know. He probably not never get nothing else off them records. You know what I
There's
mean?
only one Drake. You know what I'm saying?
he
Everybody
getting-
else
you
is
know, he getting a
everybody
big-
else.
Yeah, he getting a big chunk of money. So I think if you in a situation like that, it probably work for you.
Yeah.
Well, it works for a lot of say newcomer artists in that era. Like you said, there's only there. You know, there ain't gonna be another Drake come along. Just like 20 years ago, there was a Eminem who saw. You get me? It's always
Hip hop, pop.
yeah.
R&B, all of that shit in
They're
one-
yeah.
yeah,
They're,
one pot.
it's like a motherfucker making some gumbo. It ain't just you know what you getting when you eat some greens.
Yeah.
You know what you getting when you eat some fried chicken.
But you could tell they controlling
when
this
a
shit over there.
motherfucker make a pot of gumbo, everybody make they shit different, and it's all kind of shit in there.
Do you think?
Get me?
Do you? This the one thing I do say, because I look at some of these records, man, and I'm a conspiracy theorist by nature.
Me too.
I look at certain stuff and the record just be out in 5 minutes, and you might go on the internet look at something, you come back the record at 3 million views, then 5 million. I think it's a big bot game being played right now, even with the podcast, dog.
Yeah, it ain't no secret.
Even when it's a big bot game, and it's whoever got the little infrastructure to play the game the right way. Because I'm gonna tell you something, the way stuff is now, social currency is a real thing.
Really though.
If you see a video that got, if you go to a video that got, let's say 20,000 views, it might be the dopest shit ever. But you see this other video that got 20 million, it's gonna be it's gonna be a certain contingency of people that think the video that got the 20 million views is the better product.
You damn right. And that's
So
how they
it is
turn.
effective.
That's how they
That's
turn that
major
wheel. Yeah.
That major money though, but that's what
Yeah.
you get when you go over to one of them big companies. They're like, don't worry, we're gonna guarantee you're a success. It don't always work, but when they can put that kind of money behind you, an independent artist, you can't pump millions of dollars into your marketing and promotion, but they can.
Man, let me tell you something. If you messed around and put a single out tomorrow and that motherfucker jumped up to about 70, 80 million spins by Friday,
Yeah.
they would be trying to flag your shit for something.
Oh yeah.
Even if it was super legit, they would be, oh no, there's no way.
Or they gonna pop up and try to offer you a bag. They gonna try to,
Yeah, they gonna
throw
try to
you
do
under the-
something,
Yeah, they gonna
yeah.
try to throw you up under the wing. You
And
know?
I could tell you, man, around when that first happened, I could say it now because I ain't snitching on nobody. But I used to sell records, right, for different people. I used to distribute Dash and them stuff overseas. I met a cat, man, that told me, hey, man, if you got an album, I can guarantee you top 10. And I just started building with him. I said, because he said, man, I'm dealing with a dude that's from Northern California, and I'm doing it for him. You send me 5,000 CDs and give me $6,000, I can guarantee you top 10. But if you want to stay top 10, like the thing, you got to keep paying.
Mm-hmm.
They would send, I guess, a certain amount of copies to all the SoundScan stores. And I'm not gonna lie, but what happened is your shit hit Billboard, you start selling more records. It was like a marketing thing at one point.
Yeah, because people see you selling and they feel like, oh shit, I gotta get that. Look at it. Oh, or what? Last week it was number 20. This week it's number 13. Oh, I gotta go buy that motherfucker. It's
I'm gonna tell you
it's
who
a
the master
scheme.
of that was.
It's
Master P was the master of
yeah,
that.
it's a marketing scheme.
He was the master of the marketing scheme. Master P would put records that probably wasn't gonna never come out in the liner notes, and people would actually be checking for that stuff.
Right.
Damn right.
They'd be checking
It
for
just
it.
it
Had a
built
lot of hustle.
it built your anticipation.
He had a lot of hustle. Let me ask you this, man. Was you around? What was the vibe in New York? Because I almost know the answer when the whole East Coast, West Coast shenanigans shit was going down. What was the vibe over there? Nobody gave a fuck about it, did they?
That's what's crazy. In the streets, I felt like the industry, they took control of the narrative. Because in the streets, we loved the West Coast music. Like when I was a kid, I remember we got our hands on West Coast music and how raw niggas was with it and how they was talking. Man, we was playing that shit like, because that, to me, that represents a time like when, we were first jumping off the porch. And, even though we loved our lyrical artists, but to just hear motherfuckers talking about, NWA, they kidnapping hoes on the records, shooting bitches in the car. Like, it was just like some shit we ain't never heard. So we really was fucking with West Coast music real hard. And I felt like the industry took control of the narrative and kind of try to make it, they put a lot of smut on the game and made it seem like, it was some type of like hate or animosity on the East Coast, but it wasn't like that in the streets.
And it wasn't like that in the streets out here. That's the funny thing. That's why I asked, because the funny thing is, when that whole thing was going down, I used to wonder, who the hell got beef? Because I'm still going to listen to whoever the fuck I want to listen to. I was banging the shit out of Biggie.
It wasn't, I don't even think it was, like everybody, like, you have to see that it was really, like you said, the media and people of outside who really wanted to spin that narrative because it sold magazines, it kept reports going of East Coast, West Coast. But it was two motherfucking, it's just like it was two hoods beefing with each other.
That's all
it wasn't a whole city beefing, you get me? It was two hoods beefing with each other. And it just happened to be, it was a hood on the East Coast and it was a hood on, and I'm saying that in representation to the record labels. You get me?
Right.
It wasn't like,
They made a bag of money off all that shit.
Damn sure did.
it wasn't like every motherfucking, nigga in the hood over here was like, nigga, we just gonna jump on the plane and go to New York and just, nigga, I was still doing shit with niggas from New York. I never had an issue, ever. And I've been going over there since I first started rapping.
It ain't real. It wasn't real.
I never had an issue going to New York. Nigga, going to record stores and clubs and everything.
Love,
and
right?
never had an issue.
Showing love.
Like, never.
That's what I'm saying.
Cali, our second biggest market.
Yeah,
I'm
all
saying, and
that's
I'm,
what I'm saying.
like my shit. We make music like New York make music, and it's like my second biggest market. So I get a lot of love out here. So people like that. To me, I felt like it's not reflecting what the streets and the people are saying. It was all industry shit.
But no, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a lot of narratives that get spun, and even with the way the internet is right now, man, it's a lot of foolishness. So you gotta kind of dig through it. And again, social currency is the biggest thing. Is let me tell you this: you can ask a kid right now. If you ask a 15-year-old kid, I got $10,000 in this bag for you right now. Or I got a fully automated Instagram page with your name on it already. It got 1 million followers already. You know what he go pick? He go say, man, give me the
They
Instagram
want that
page.
page. Yeah,
Give me that
nigga.
Instagram page. I'm popping already.
That's 1 million people
Even if
looking at me.
even if the million people are fake too.
Yeah, they don't give a
If the million
fuck.
people are genuinely fuck with you, then there is some money there. There's business there if it's really 1 million people that fuck with you. But if they just like, oh, I'm gonna give you 1 million followers with the blue check, but these people really don't know who the fuck you are. Nah, that ain't it. But you can make money off of your, you know, like anybody, you know, if you have a following, you have a big following, you can make money. So I think a lot of people that with the social currency thing, they get it twisted because they think just because they making a fool of themselves that people really fuck with them. They more laughing at you than they are like, you know,
Well, that's
fans
what
of
I'm
what you do.
saying, man, because there's a lot of dudes crashing out right now. There's a lot of dudes crashing out right now because they want to be, I don't even know if it's so much for the money, bro. I think they just want to be noticed. They just want to
Yeah,
be
that's
noticed.
the main focus.
Yeah.
The main focus is to get people watching. It's like sometimes, you know, like you said, this game ain't what everybody think it is. It takes a lot to make a decent dollar. But I don't even think it's about the money. A lot of niggas just want to be, I want to be seen and just heard. Like that's what makes popularity now. If I'm just seen and niggas is coming to my page and, you know, it don't matter what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm be talking about some of the craziest, outlandish, wild shit. But I want motherfuckers to come and watch me. So, hey, that's why I said the other day, there's no code anymore. You see niggas who you thought was the hardest of hardest gangsters and shit. Nigga on the microphones right now, spitting like a motherfucking brand new MC. You
Yeah, 'cause
feel
I'm gonna
me?
tell you, man, it's certain groups that when you first hear them, like when I first heard Wu-Tang Clan, I knew they was gonna be out of here.
Yeah.
Like when I first heard Cash Rules Everything Around Me, Cream Get the Money, I said, man, this is the coldest shit I've heard. And I think because they was from Long Island.
No, they from Staten
Staten.
Island.
Staten Island,
Yeah.
my bad, from
Crazy is
Staten Island.
Meth moved to Staten Island. Meth from my block too. Meth from he from Terrace Ave.
Is that right?
Yeah, Meth from my projects.
Is that right? So
Yeah.
I'm not real knowledgeable about the boroughs. So directly Hempstead is kind of like Brooklyn, right?
Hempstead is Long Island.
Long Island,
Yeah,
it's
Hempstead
Long
is
Island.
Long Island, yup.
But Long Island, Brooklyn, Queens,
All connected.
that's all kind of
all
connected, right?
connected.
Yeah, it's all, yeah.
For me to drive into Queens from Hempstead, 20-minute drive, 10, 20-minute drive, just like how LA is. Like, you know, everything like a 20-minute drive. You could just dip over here, like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for real.
Quick. Yeah.
Unless you living way out, like, you know, the IE.
Long Island big though. If you like out far, like out east of Long Island, then yeah, you might have to drive an hour or so. But you know, I'm from Nassau County, so that's more closer to Queens.
So the Wu was kind of like, they was like outsiders almost, right?
Yeah, Staten Island, cause you gotta get on a boat to go to Staten Island. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, like you gotta jump on a ferry. So they was like, you know, Staten Island was a little out the way. So when they came in, it was just like, damn, these niggas from Staten Island is like,
So Staten
Taking
Island
over?
would be like the IE niggas then. They would be like the IE because, you know, we got the Inland Empire right there.
Yeah.
You got a lot of cats out there that get real busy.
Oh, definitely.
But they in their own look, you know,
Yeah.
you got the shout out to Dirty Birdie, Doggy Style Lee, and all of them. You know, they
Yeah,
out there doing their
definitely,
thing, you know?
definitely.
They out there doing their thing.
Definitely. And the Wu, the Staten Island, that was the first time they kind of like, that was like our first whiff for some brothers from Staten Island.
Right.
Like Long Island been shaking since the 80s. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Niggas from the island been shaking since the
EPMD
80s.
and all,
Yeah,
yeah.
Rakim,
Yeah.
PE, all of that. So, you know, they De La Soul, you know, all of that, MF Doom. So we done had cats since the 80s.
Yeah,
So
a lot,
when they
yeah.
came, it was like, oh shit, we ain't never hear what Staten Island had to bring to the table.
Was mainland like New York really fucking with them when they first came out?
What, Wu?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wu took over. It wasn't no. It wasn't. I don't remember there being no resistance.
It could be no resistance,
Protect Your
no
Neck
hate.
came out. I was like, oh, this is some shit we
Because
never heard or saw before.
It's like when, you know, it's like when music changes. You know, we all go through the transition of changes with hip hop. You know, hip hop started for us on the electronic tip funk type shit.
West Coast.
Then it went to, you know, the Tone Lokes and the Young MCs and the shit like that, and the Wrecking Crews and the motherfucking that type of shit. And it transitioned over into the streets with Tila and Ice-T. So people have their transitions, and even New York. You know, New York went through the, you know, we had the Rakims, you know, the first LLs, the Run DMCs, and then we started switching over, and then you had that era where, you know, everybody wanted to make the clubby, let's
Mace,
drink
Puffy and them,
let's drink
yeah.
Cristal and money shit.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang was that fresh breath of air.
Yeah, because
You get me?
They was the antithesis
Some
to all
motherfucking
that shiny
niggas.
suit shit.
Right. It's just some regular niggas from the
Dirty
block
niggas.
speaking
Yeah, like,
about the
on some
block
dirty
and
nigga
dirty
shit,
life.
like-
You get me?
No, they ain't have new
Like
clothes on.
Like my nigga was saying. They speaking on the pissy hallways type of shit. Like
Right.
the shit that brought us into the game. But we ain't seen that shit for a while because everybody running around this motherfucking shiny suits with Cristal bottles and shit.